You know what nobody tells us when we land that promotion? Nobody tells us that that corner office might also come with a side of divorce papers. Over 70% of divorces are filed by women. Let that sink in. Over 70% of divorces are filed by women. So, what that tells us is that when women are under pressure, one of the first things to suffer and go is our marriage, our relationships. So, congrats on the raise and hello to that emotional unraveling and an air fryer we now have to split in the divorce. Hi, guys. Welcome to my YouTube channel. I am Tina Lois, your relationship rescue strategist, helping ambitious women and couples to crush their career goals without crushing their marriage. I believe it's so important that we as ambitious women and or couples understand that you can have a successful career and a fulfilling marriage at the same time. We shouldn't be challenged with either or. You know, it's funny because when we were growing up, for most of us, we were taught to get your education. Are you going to be a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher? But what we were never taught through all the elders' wisdom and experiences is that while we gather all of our education and we build our financial empire, even homes, we were never taught how to actually have both a successful career and, if married, a fulfilling marriage simultaneously. And that's exactly what I do. How do I know about this? Well, about 4 years ago, that was my story. I was an executive, and it was many days I came home and I would look over at my husband. If it wasn't cool leftovers, it was his cool expression and the look of, we need to talk. And my coming in and babbling on all evening about work, emails in my mind that I hadn't responded to, staff, board meetings, projects that were completed or needed to be completed. Just so many things. And what that did was it helped create a wall of silence between my husband and I. You know, it became a space of all about work. You know, I didn't even know how to turn off until one day, and this is where the pivotal movement came for me. One day I had finished a meeting with another executive. And as I was walking back to my office and they were walking to theirs, she actually knows me as a relationship and intimacy coach at that time. And she started sharing with me her marital demise. She started sharing with me that she feels like everything's falling apart. And although she seeks to be successful continuously in her career and was actually doing really, really well, her marriage was falling apart. And as she was talking, she was mirroring me. That was a moment that I realized that it was either my career or my marriage. And what mattered to my heart the most, despite the ego and everything else that goes with having a successful career or title, that was nothing compared to the heart and the joy and the partnership I committed to when I say it, I do, which led me to resigning. but I resigned so that you all don't have to. But as a result of that, it took me down a journey of, really looking at my experiences. And as I always worked with clients, leadership, women in leadership, as it relates to the relationships and some of the negotiating and conflicting situations they experienced at work and at home, I now got to work on the drawing board as it relates to how am I now going to help keep others from heading for divorce, but most importantly, not just being married or not just showing up at home physically, but being there emotionally. So that's what I'll be sharing on this page. I'll be talking about marriage, career, ambition, love, life, sex, and your legacy, and what that really looks like. So join me as I show up and share with you all the various aspects of what we as ambitious women and or couples experience on a day-to-day basis. Because the reality is we need to make executive decisions, not only at work. We need to be making those executive decisions at home. There's nothing worse than being successful in the boardroom, coming home to silence or conflict or disconnection. And so, what I want to do with you is take you out of what we call in one of my phases of our strategy system here is the boundary bleed phase, which is constantly feeling rejected, resentful, conflict and situations arising day after day after day with no resolve. We want to turn it around and put you in our ROI, return on intimacy stage. And this is all of what I'm going to do. I'm going to be talking to you thoroughly about the various things I've done with all of my clients and friends, people, and myself alike throughout this journey. And my intention is that not only do I save your marriage from heading for divorce, but I want you to be in a fulfilled marriage. I want you to enjoy each other. I want you to be able to say, oh, babe, I'm so glad I wake up to you every day. I want you to have that pillow talk, love and intimacy pillow talk. But I also want you to be able to come home and share the various aspects of what you are experiencing at work. But the intention here is to take you from looking at your spouse as your intern or unpaid career coach. I want you to look at your partner as your partner so that when you leave home for work, you happily leave home from work for work. And when you come back home, you give yourselves that opportunity and that time frame to talk about work or not, but to more so connect as in partners, in love, not just in the boardroom. So make sure to click the subscribe button, notification button, leave any comment you would like for me to answer, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for joining me.